what all the interviews Jim Ratcliffe's done over these last sort of week or so, I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Because you put something on Instagram about you will be back. And I didn't know if you were taking the piss or being sarcastic. I couldn't quite work it out.
I don't know myself. I don't really know what's going on. I was just pleased that, I suppose as United fans for the last 20 years, whatever it's been, we're pleased that we've just had a voice, I think. Somebody said something, it didn't really matter what I said, and you can be quite gullible at times, can't you? And you believe everything they said just because you've not heard from anybody, you've not heard anybody say anything. Was it 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a team competing again? Like, look, you don't know how realistic it is, do you? It's all up in the air, and as I said last week, words are cheap, aren't they?
We'll get back to Scholesy in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if you've got something to say, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please put it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he always wants to know exactly what is on your mind. Just keep it civil. That's all we ask. Anyway, in this clip, Scholesy, Cara, Adam McCullough and a few of the other YouTuber fans like the Big D are talking about, Manchester United and their current little upturn in form, and also Jim Ratcliffe and the big fancy pants new circus stadium. And yeah, it's a little mixed bag here from the guys. But I'll let you have a little look at what they've got to say, and then stick around for after the clip, because the Big D is going to react to what they had to say. Here they are.
Listening to Rory, but I mean, is there something of a feel-good factor just come back to Manchester United in the last week or two?
I don't know about feel-good factor, but it's like we're starting to see some glimpses of what Ruben Amorim wants from the team and some of the younger players. Because one of the things that I think for us at the moment is with the PSR issues, we're probably only going to be able to sign 3 or 4 players in the summer. So we're going to have to heavily rely on youth and bringing young players through. And it's been good to see a few of our younger players, like Patrick Dorgu, who we signed, actually performing quite well. Obviously, progressing in the Europa League, I think, is important, because if we can get into the Champions League for next season, we've already seen how financially beneficial it can be for football clubs. But I think it's always easy to win games towards the end of the season when you're not playing for anything, and everyone kind of relaxes and there's no pressure on you and stuff. So I don't want to be fooled by that. But there are some glimpses of hope, and I think Ruben Amorim's starting to settle in. The fans love him. Still got his song in my head from the other day at the King Power Stadium. And what? You sing it. You know it. You've got it in your head.
Let's hear it.
Listen,
You can't do that. Mate, serenade us.
No, but it's just good to feel like, and weirdly, I know this is still bad for Manchester United, but we've only lost 4 out of the last 17. It doesn't feel like that when you're in it, because it almost feels like we're losing one every other game. But yeah, there's been good signs. Aiden Heaven looks like a bargain from them lot for £1 million, which is good. And Scholes is coming around today.
There we go. There we go.
He sells something.
There we go. Go on.
No, I've liked him from the start. I think he's solid, man. I think he's a good player. I think when you said he was worse than Maguire, I think you said Maguire was better than him. I think he's what we thought Maguire was going to be.
He's been what we thought Maguire was going to be.
Yeah, I think is the player we thought we signed when we signed Maguire.
I think he's an £80 million player.
No, I think he's a lot better than Maguire.
Look, he has done a lot better. Of course he has. Man United 13th in the Premier League.
I know, and that's why it's hard to, kind of take positives from it all. But I think there are some.
Bruno's a positive, I suppose. And Hoyland scored, Garnacho scored. I think the last few weeks we've looked better.
Do you know who I love, Scholesy? Joshua Zirkzee, man. He's never going to score a goal, but he's so
that's good then.
good. On the ball, he's just so good. There's something about him. I don't know.
He's a goal scorer, wasn't he? But he's not going to score a goal.
He's a 9.5, he said, isn't it? But I think if you can turn him, if you can get runners either side of him, ability on the ball is so good.
Yeah, there's a talent there. Yeah,
there's a technically
there
very
is.
good
Yeah.
player.
No,
I think maybe I'm just deluded. I don't know.
He doesn't look like a goal scorer to me.
No, he's never going to.
I think he will bring people into play and.
And he's also showed a bit of fight as well after he got booed off. Maybe we should start booing everyone off and they'll start...
You know what, a few of them will come back from the dead, haven't you? You think of Casemiro as well last couple of weeks.
Do you know when I was saying about Chelsea, how we kind of have to redefine certain things? Like, we're not the club that we once were. Have I just witnessed a redefinition of Manchester United? Like, when I think about the players that have played for that club, when I think about the icons that have led the line, and now you're talking about Joshua Zirkzee as as if he's...
Don't look at me when you say that.
Yeah, well, OK, I'll direct it in. This is weird.
You don't know ball, Raw.
Far too old to understand what that means.
Adam, can I ask you about... let's be honest, I'll ask you, Scholesy, first. What all the interviews Jim Ratcliffe's done over these last sort of week or so, I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Because you put something on Instagram about you will be back. And I didn't know if you were taking the piss or being sarcastic. I couldn't quite work it out.
I don't know myself. I don't really know what's going on. I was just pleased that, I suppose as United fans for the last 20 years, whatever it's been, we're pleased that we've just had a voice, I think. Somebody said something, it didn't really matter what I said, and you can be quite gullible at times, can't you? And you believe everything they said just because you've not heard from anybody, you've not heard anybody say anything. Was it 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a team competing again? Like, look, you don't know how realistic it is, do you? It's all up in the air, and as I said last week, words are cheap, aren't they? You don't really... We can go on and say anything about any football club and say in 5 years we're going to be the best, in 10 years we're going to have the best stadium in the world. It's just, you can say anything. I feel, because for a long time we've been called like the richest club in the world, haven't we? I feel like we're begging a little bit, coming out, asking for the stadium. We need £2 billion. It feels like we have to sell players to buy players. It
just ask the government,
just
ask the British taxpayer for it.
Well, that's what they have done. I think they said no.
Something's going on, isn't there? All this like,
something has to be.
It's a
Tax
load of
exile.
nonsense.
Doesn't even pay tax here, and he's the richest man in the country, and he's asking the taxpayer to bail him out. It's unbelievable.
He wouldn't even give a dinner out to, like... Do you think what he said about the club going bankrupt is true?
No, I don't.
I think
I
it
thought
is.
that was a bit...
No.
I think without him coming in and putting some money in, we were in big trouble.
Not bankrupt, though.
Not bankrupt, but we wouldn't have been able to sign anyone. There was no cash flow there if he doesn't come in.
Just cut back on selling.
It feels like he's bought the club, but he hasn't got enough money, if you know what I mean. He's put the 300 million quid in, and brilliant, but doesn't really...
I think also there'll be an unwillingness to want to put more in when you only own 20-odd% of the club. Like, you're going to have to look over the table and go, what the hell are you lot doing over there? Put your hands in your pocket.
Well, we
That's
know what
why
they're doing.
Gary pushed him.
Yeah, that's not happening, is it?
Because I thought Gary would be a bit softer on the Glazers, but I was glad to see him push him on that. I know he can't really say anything about them because he's business partners, but he did allude to some bad decisions being made by them. Again, like Scholes said, it was refreshing to hear communication come from him. I think he dodged some of the questions by saying, well, they weren't my decisions. It's like, you've already mentioned how much the scrutiny and the pressure is getting to you. And then for you to go, well, someone else made those decisions. Well, shouldn't you be on top of ticket prices and those kind of things if you know you're going to take the backlash for it? So I didn't like how he dodged those questions. But again, it was just refreshing to hear someone come out and speak directly to the fans. And also, whether he's bluffing or not, or whether it's going to happen or not, someone with the intentions of actually getting us back to where we belong. Because for far too long, we've just been a cow that the Glazers have been milking for all their dividends and whatever. So it's good to hear someone's actually putting the football first.
It made sense, but just going back to the ticket price, it made sense, didn't it? Because we heard the story that, he's put the ticket price up. He hadn't had it.
Yeah, but whether it's 5% of the tickets or 100% of the tickets, you still shouldn't be charging kids, children, OAPs, 66 quid to come to Old Trafford when you watch it.
They were the original price of the tickets, though, weren't they?
No.
That's what he said.
My ticket, for example, cost 42 quid on average for my season ticket. So each ticket will cost 42 quid.
But
so if they sell that...
These were tickets that have been sent back, weren't they?
It's cheaper against Brentford than it is against Man City or whatever. I think
you shouldn't be charging 6
Can I ask you about the stadium? Because that's probably why I did the interviews. And, we did the interview with Gary, for the overlap and all these different things with papers. But it was a big, I think the stadium stuff came out the next day. Exciting stuff, regeneration and all that. As a Manchester United fan, what did you think when you saw the stadium? I couldn't believe it.
I thought it looked a bit weird.
It looks like something out of Dubai.
Yeah, it looks a bit weird. It looks like a circus.
I'm trying to think like Manchester, working class area, great history football club. I think it just, I don't know, I wouldn't have liked it.
It's not real, is it? I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It would be a great stadium if that was being built in Beijing.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's fantastic. I want to go there one day.
Manchester or Manchester
United. It's also like, I don't want a new stadium. Renovate Old Trafford. I may be in the minority. They did a poll amongst season ticket holders, and I think only 30% said that, just renovate Old Trafford. But I go to some of these stadiums now, like Wembley and that, and it's just soulless.
Speak for yourself.
Do you not think it feels like the right time now, Adam? You see all these modern
Maybe when it comes
stadiums.
around, I'll get all giddy and we're going to go to this new stadium and we're going to have a
but it's
taco
not- it's
stand
not
and all
being
this
built
crap.
You
for
could do what they did at the new
Don't
campus,
mind,
both.
it's not being built for you. It's being built for a worldwide consumer base that go to Old Trafford once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime. It's
Well, he
got
mentioned the
nothing to do
Eiffel
with the
Tower,
season
didn't he?
ticket holder.
He mentioned
Nothing
the
to
Eiffel
do with
Tower.
Eiffel Tower's
He
a
actually
shithole.
mentioned other events there as well, didn't he? Which
It's
I felt was
ridiculous.
strange.
It's being built so that somebody like Beyonce fancies playing there. It's got nothing to do with loyal season ticket holders in the Stretford end. It's really out of order what it is. And I have no idea why football fans kind of buy into this. Equally, you know when people then start, because Chelsea have a similar thing going on. People who never go to Stamford Bridge, by the way, are telling me that we need to move. Right, okay. What they're doing is they're trying to pretend that this is for the football team. And it's got absolutely nothing to do with the football team. It's about trying to increase the amount of money that the club can make. And genuinely, can you think of an example, any example in football, where a team has left their old stadium and improved? And you can't say Man City because
But
they
it took
improved
Arsenal
different-
years to get anywhere
Arsenal
near.
improved. They were winning doubles in that old stadium. It was a glorious stadium hybrid. It was a
But also,
building.
Ro-
It was sensational.
But also, Rod, again, I don't want a new stadium. I'm happy where I am in the Stretford end. But they can't extend Old Trafford beyond what it is at the moment. To do that, you've got to take out the railway bar, them houses. You can't extend what is currently Old
I
Trafford.
don't think
so
that's true either.
there's
though.
more difficulties there
I don't
as
think
well.
that's true. This is,
Does it
again,
need extending now, Adam? What is it now, 80,000?
It's very selfish, but I'm not arsed. Like, keep it 77,000.
77,000's a lot.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah.
But
It's a lot.
It's just falling down, though, isn't it? And that's not. It is. There's leaking everywhere.
there's-
Renovate it
the
then.
facilities aren't there. They're not there, are
But
they?
doesn't this tie into what Jim Ratcliffe was saying as well, in the sense that we have got no money, we need to turn Manchester United. Really, a lot of that interview was, we need more money, let's turn it into more of an entertainment hub. Well, how do we do that? We make it very modern day stadium, we charge a lot of prices.
Like
It's like a
Tottenham.
also,
concert, right?
from
It
his
costs loads of money.
perspective, the club that he's bought, if it's at Old Trafford, compared to the club that he will sell or will be sold on his behalf, if they're playing in that circus, it will be worth more money. Ultimately, it's just making the asset worth so much more money for him and his.
But I don't know
I
if you can
don't
say
get-
it's for him because I don't know how to
It's not for you.
It's like, I think it's one of his things where when he's no longer here, he wants to have that legacy of, I brought Manchester United back. So I don't think he's doing it with the intention of eventually selling it because,
He's 70, is that what it's saying?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's
Got
not in
to
a
pay for the
position to
staff
really
sandwiches
benefit from
somehow, wasn't he? That he took off, you know.
First of all, the Big D just wants to address the elephant in the room. I'm sure you're wondering. I'm sure it'll probably keep you up all night if I didn't tell you. But the Big D shaved his beard. The Big D said on different videos before he's actually a professional actor. And he was at an audition today, a big fancy pants audition for a big fancy pants film. And he needed to shave. So fingers crossed, you will be seeing the Big D on a big screen as opposed to your little YouTube machine. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the clip. And the clip is, the thing is, you can't please everyone when it comes to football. Even if Man United were winning trebles season in, season out, someone will be saying, oh, it's just boring. It's boring. There's no challenges anymore and all of this kind of stuff. And, the Big D was kind of guilty of that a little bit back in the day, because it just became a little bit routine that Man United would win the league. So whenever we lost the league, it was always exciting for the season after because we had a little bit of a challenge. So the Big D understands that people have different opinions and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not entirely sure what some people expect when it comes to new things in football. Like the man there was talking about, the big fancy pants stadium and, he was saying, it's just there to make money and it's not for the fans, it's for the worldwide audience, it's for Beyonce to come and perform and all of that kind of stuff. And it's, yeah, kinda. I mean, the club is a business, by the way. Manchester United is a business and Jim Ratcliffe is going to want to run it like a business. He's going to want it to make money. And when you've got a business asset like Manchester United, to keep it relevant, you need to upgrade it. And you need to invest in it so it keeps up with the times. I like the fact that we're getting a new 100,000-seater stadium. I think it's fantastic. And to say that it's not for the fans, I don't think that's accurate. Because from what the Big D's seen in terms of the planning of the stadium, the design, all of that. Well, they're building the acoustics specifically to create an intense cauldron-like atmosphere that will intimidate the opposition team. And the supporters are going to be as close to the pitch as humanly possible without actually being on the pitch and without breaking any health and safety regulations. So to suggest that it's not for the fans is not entirely accurate. However, there is some truth to that stadium. That statement. The Big D can't speak. What's going on? The Big D's exhausted. It's been a long day. Anyway, there is some truth to that statement because they're going to charge a fortune for a season ticket in that big stadium. They're going to charge a fortune for individual tickets for that stadium. I think my dad's season ticket now has gone up to 600 quid. So my mum was telling us before. Anyway, I'll have to double check that one myself. But they're saying it's going to be about 600 quid, and he's a pensioner. That's a pensioner's ticket. 600 quid, and that's getting close to double the amount that I paid for my dad's ticket when we first bought it, which was about 4 years ago. So the prices are skyrocketing. So it's going to be $1,000 for a pensioner's season ticket in that new stadium. I can see it. At least it's going to make the season tickets in that stadium London prices. I can't see why they wouldn't. They're going to drip feed the price increase over the next few years to the point where it's almost like you put a frog in cold water, then you slowly heat up the cold water until it's boiling, and the frog doesn't realise it. Whereas if you chuck a frog into boiling water, it'll just jump straight back out. They're slowly getting the fans used to these price hikes, so that when they do hit them with £1,000 to £3,000 season tickets, then it's not going to be so much of a leap. That's the bit that the Big D won't be happy about, because that's forgetting the roots of the club. And yes, it is a working class sport. Manchester United was built on working class traditions. So that will be awful. That will be awful. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, if Man United are crap in 5 seasons, when they finally move into that big 100,000-seater stadium and they're charging that money, I don't see how they could justify it. But if they've got a Champions League winning side in there that's dominating English football, then at least they've got something to shout about. But whether that happens is another kettle of fish altogether. But getting back to the team, anyway, yes, there has been a little bit more of a feel-good factor. And the Big D said it on the past couple of videos that he's made. Something's clicked in that team. It's clicked, definitely. The team just seems to be playing better together. There's some key players who are playing a little bit better. Xerxes, I agree with Adam there. Xerxes has been a joy to watch. He's silky, he can open up defences, it seems that way anyway. And, I mean, what a goal that would have been for Højlund if he'd back-heeled it in the net from Xerxes' piece of skill in the box and then cut across goal. That would have just been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, and Bruno's been an absolute joy to watch. We seem a little bit more solid. De Ligt's a warrior. He reminds me a lot of Vidic. Yeah, I mean, things are just slowly getting better. It's just slowly getting better. And I just feel as though we've had a little bit of a watershed moment. And I think we'll have a good run in the Europa League. And the last time the Big D made a video, it was quite late. He had a couple. So I think I was about 8 cans in. I think I said that United are going to win the Europa League. And the Big D is going to stand by that. Man United are going to win the Europa League. And you heard it here. At the Big D _. But we'll see. We'll see. And, you know, that's not even necessarily because Man United are awesome. But the rest of the teams aren't that much better. So it'll be an interesting run anyway. But yeah, I mean, things have taken an upswing and, you know, we'll see how things go. The Big D's heard recently that Aidan Heaven's injury isn't as bad as what they might have originally feared. So that's a plus point as well because he's been kicking on really nicely. The Big D's also seen some of the players that Man United have been sort of keeping tabs on as well, according to Sky in Germany. So there's Osimhen. I was looking at some footage of him on YouTube earlier on today, and he looks a beast. He looks really good, really good. Gyökeres, I'm not sure about Gyökeres. He looks like he's playing at his maximum in Portuguese football. To me, I could be wrong, but to me, it looks like that's his level. Maybe a little bit above that. But if they're going to be wanting 80 million for him, I would say no, not at all. Whereas Osimhen looks like he's dominating Turkish football. It just looks too easy for him over there in Turkey. So if it was a choice out of those two, I'd probably go with Osimhen over Gyökeres. Unless you know it was a reasonable price for Gyökeres, but I can't see them selling him for anything less than 80 million. And I reckon Osimhen might be a better shout. I'm not sure what his contract status is with Napoli, but he certainly wants out, so they'll probably just want to get rid of him, just get him off the books and whatnot. So I'd go with him. I've also heard that Højlund is one of 10 players who United are looking to get rid of. So if I'm not mistaken, it's Højlund, it's Mount, it's Casemiro, it's Sancho, Rashford, Antony, Eriksen, and a couple of others. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I think it would be a big mistake if we let Højlund go. I think the next couple of months is going to be crucial on, you know, whether or not he stays at Manchester United. But he looked good against Leicester. He's always trying hard, and no. There's a player there. There's a player there. He works too hard. He's got too many good physical attributes. I don't think he's on big wages. I mean, fair enough, he costs a lot, but I don't think he's on big wages, so I don't think we should get rid of him. I think another season under Ruben Amorim, and if he's still crap after that, then fair enough, but no, we can't get rid of him. But anyway, what do you guys think? What do you think of what Scholesy says, what Cara says, what Adam says? Do you think this new stadium is going to be soulless? Do you think the prices are going to go through the roof? What do you think about the players that we've been linked to, like Osimhen, Gyökeres? Who would you like to see lead the line for Manchester United? Maybe you'd like to see the team stick with Rasmus Højlund. Who knows? But whatever it is, please put it in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.